Welcome to EntreProgrammers Podcast, the podcast for developreneurs, the podcast where you get to be a fly on the wall listening to real conversations of three developers trying to tackle the challenges they face as entrepreneurs.
Oh, we're live. Okay.
Sweet.
And apparently, Mandy was telling me that people can actually chat in the chat,
What?
like while this is going. I never see it on the.
Have a YouTube live session going on. Yeah, people will, you can start another browser and you'll see the chat going down.
If you go to the like stream now thing.
Is this on YouTube live? I mean, it's on Google Hangouts, but have you put it on YouTube live?
YouTube live.
Well, you can't do it's. This is live, but you can't do YouTube live without a encoder, right? Like you have to locally encode and then send the
but what he's saying is that on the stream people can essentially comment in real time and it comes out as kind of a chat.
Yeah.
Well, it says live stream is offline if I go to EntreProgrammers.
Well,
not that we really need like commenters, but
that might be a delay.
But hey, John, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna have you come on my channel. We're gonna do a live session and we're gonna have the live feed.
All right, well, you'll have to show me how it works then, because that's...
Yeah, so we will do that. I will announce it, pre-announce it, so we'll have a whole bunch of people doing it, so it'll be fun.
Or maybe it's if you create, depending on how you create it. I don't know. I did like the stream. I always do like events, and then I do start a new hangout.
Where's the YouTube live now? You have a link to the YouTube live?
Yeah.
Can you post it here?
Well, wait a minute. I did a. I just did an event and I did new Google Hangout or whatever it was.
Yeah, but it's not a YouTube live.
Oh, I see. There is a chat on there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a different chat.
Well,
okay, I see.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So it is there. So
yeah,
it is possible. Actually, let me try something.
You have to have another browser. So if you have the link, you can send it to us and we'll see it.
Maybe we can just read the link out live every time we do this, and it'll be like
this is the link that I'm using to
/XYMP3. There we go.
But see, I come in as EntreProgrammers because I started as EntreProgrammers, which someone has to do in order to make it work.
This page, this is not live yet, or this is not public.
Yeah, it's funny because I can see it, but I'm signed in as DevChat TV.
Yeah.
And so I could comment as devchat.tv.
Right. Oh, yeah. You should be able to, whatever you're signed in as. But if you can see it, then other people can see it. But no one, I don't know. I don't know if no one knows about it or how it works. So, all right. Well, it's cool.
It works.
Definitely try to figure this out for the next 50 minutes. So
there we go.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah, so both Chuck and I have a sickness which causes us to become sick and also eat junk food.
Oh man.
Oh no.
The junk food, my coping mechanism.
What kind of STD is this?
It's an alien virus. It's the reason why is to make the host fatter. There's actually like an alien is gonna burst out of my chest. In a few weeks, I just have to get plump enough. That's big.
What did you?
I don't know. The pressure I was feeling, it would have burst out of my forehead.
Wow.
Yeah. Sinus pressure last night. It was bad.
Man, I was on a downward spiral since I got sick, but I'm trying to pull up now. I'm gonna stop.
Of you being sick now, right?
What's that? I'm pretty much over it now, so I got no excuses left. So I'm pretty much just gonna go. But I'm cutting out I decided to cut out the kickboxing that I was doing, and then the running every day. So I'm just like doing a moderate running and doing the lifting, and I'm primarily just gonna be like doing fasting. Like I'm gonna my attempt is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday to be full fast days. So. Which I think that should be fine. That should be doable. So,
Yeah, I mean, what I've found is that you're too many of those compounding stressors. If you throw in the little tiny innocent cold virus, it's like goes off like a nuclear bomb.
Exactly. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I got sick last year. I was doing right around MicroConf. I was doing like a pretty extreme twice a day weightlifting routine and doing keto. And then my kids got something, and I was sick for like 6 weeks. I foolishly pushed through it. I really didn't want to cut the workout. The workout thing that I was doing was like just 2 weeks, and I didn't want to cut it short. I wanted to just go straight through. And yeah, I got like it was probably pneumonia. Honestly, like I had really bad chest infection. I didn't get like antibiotics for it or anything, but it was pretty miserable for about 6 weeks. So
yeah,
my
I made
wife,
a new. Oh, go ahead.
My wife had a sinus infection and a double ear infection from this
oh
thing.
man.
So I have been running around like crazy trying to take care of everything, and yeah. So I was like, screw it. I don't have time to cook. I don't have time to do anything else. So yeah. So me and my Pringles are having a good day today.
Yeah, I made a new rule for myself from now on, like, because you get these learning experiences, right? It's like, well, you know what, and I look at it this way, right? Every time you fuck up, every time you fail, it just means that there's some lesson that you haven't learned yet. It's not a bad thing. It's just like, and it's better for the shit to blow up early than later, right? It's like, if you didn't fail in this case, every time I look at it, and I'm like, then I would have failed further on when there was more on the line or more at stake.
Yeah.
So in this case, like the lesson learned for me was when you're sick, new rule says hold the line. Like don't do you're not going to make progress. It's not going to happen. You're not going forward, but you're staying where you are. Like that means not eating shit. Yeah. That means like not like, you know, like if you're going to do workouts, you're going to do like minimal workouts just to maintain, right? Just enough to stay where you are. It was like, cause I couldn't run. And then it dawned on me. I was like, well, you could have walked, right? Like that would have at least maintained, you know, where I was at. So
11 miles, John, walk, go.
But
my feeling. I didn't want to hear that. I need to go to my safe space now.
But yeah, that's the big lesson. So
yeah,
fun.
John, I've listened to your. I've heard you tell me enough times that I should do videos more often. So now I'm going to commit to doing 2 videos a week.
Yes.
Now I don't know if they're going to be like high quality animation for a while, just because I don't have an animator yet. But definitely going to do 2 a week. One of them will probably be live, so that's fun. And I will commit to it on my podcast on my YouTube, so that'll be fun as well. To like make a public announcement and kind of stay consistent with it. There's this the Art of War. Oh, the 33 Rules of War.
Oh yeah, yep.
Right, Robert Greene. He talks about how sometimes in war sometimes we can become complacent, and the way to add urgency is just an outside pressure. Outside pressure is the most powerful to add urgency. So just keeping yourself accountable to outside pressure is a requirement in some ways to build that.
Good. I'm glad. That's what you need to do for sure. That's like I was just watching Hunt for Red October last night. You guys seen that, right? Or are you familiar
the original, with or is there a new one, or is it the original?
No, the original. Okay,
right? Yeah.
So the captain of Sean Connery.
Yeah.
The captain of the Russian ship, right? He's like
the Russian captain with the Scottish accent.
Yes, that guy. He says he sends a message to Russian headquarters like, "Fuck you, we're defecting to the U.S. Come get us, bitches!" Right? And he's like in the staff meeting with his crew, and they're like, because they're all defecting. Like the whole premise of the story is that they're defecting this Russian like nuclear submarine, first attack vehicle to the U.S. because they don't want to start a nuclear war. And so he's got his like senior staff, and they're discussing the thing, and he's like, yeah, I basically like I said, arguing. He's like, he doesn't say this, but to paraphrase, what he's essentially saying is, yeah, I sent a big fuck you to Moscow that said, come get us. And, so it's like, there's no way, like, you're not backing out of that, right?
Right.
So, like, they're like, oh shit, well, we better run now. Like, we have to do it. Like, there's no question about it. So there you go. So you need to send a fuck you to Moscow. That's what you need to do.
I agree. Whatever format that takes. Yeah, you're right. I used to do Monday, Wednesday podcasts back in the day. And then yesterday I was at this birthday party, this girl's birthday party. And these girls were like, they used to promote me. They used to love my podcast. They would tell everyone, mom, dad, brother, sister, friends, all of them. And then yesterday I was talking to them and they're like, hey, Manny, what's going on? What's up? I'm like, and they're like, what's new with you? I'm like, hey, you haven't been listening to my podcast. She's like, yeah, because you haven't been consistent. I'm like, oh, right.
There you go.
Both those girls told me that. And I was like, shit, they're right. Back on the horse. Back on the horse.
Yeah.
You did say back on the horse, right? Not.
I've actually offered to take over podcasts that weren't consistent. Yeah.
Well, depends on which topic, right? You want to do mine?
Yeah. Depends on which topic. I have people coming to me now and they're like, oh, you're starting new podcasts? Well, I want to do one on this. How about that? And I'm like, yeah, let's talk about it.
Nice.
So I may have a few more shows coming out over the next few months than I planned. Just because it's, you want to take that on? That'd be awesome.
You're hitting critical mass now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I redid the website, so that some people were like, this looks awesome, and some people hated it. So
I want to look.
Great thing.
We'll try to get the authors to do a podcast episode themselves without me being involved. That'll be fun.
That would be cool.
Get away with it. Yeah. Just say, you're gonna get thousands of views. Let's do it.
Yep.
Yeah. First step is definitely get you doing the 2 per week. Once you consistently do that, then you figure out, okay, how do I scale this up to get to the point where I can do more? And that's where I think you get the authors. Now you get them producing content for you. And then, but that's the thing. That's the single thing that's going to grow your business more than anything else is increasing is making more videos. That's it right now.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I do I'm doing a book summary a day for my membership sites, but I realize that's not enough just because the word doesn't get out. You still have to freaking, the marketing aspect cannot just slow down just because you're doing paid content. So it's like a balance of both the worlds, which is kind of tough sometimes, but yeah. Other challenge I think I need to overcome pretty soon now is figure out this whole studio situation, because right now I'm very dependent on natural lighting to do my videos. And there's only a short window of time, like maybe 2 p.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m. to 4 or 5 p.m. And half of those days are in the freaking gym. So then I'm left with very few hours of recording time with natural light. So now I need to figure out, do some lighting, set up all that stuff to create a real studio where I can just go record anytime I want. Or maybe at least
show up at John's house.
People will be like, is this $2,000 or is that John's son? What's going on?
Well, the thing is, okay, so I got some ideas on that for sure. I mean, definitely work on getting a set up, and you can, and you can just get some lighting set up, but don't rely on it being perfect. I mean, the videos don't have to be that perfect as far as the lighting goes. Like, if they can see you and it's clear and they can hear you, which is more important than anything else, that's what's key. And you can always improve and make over time you'll improve it, but don't let that be like the stopping factor. Like, record the video. Well, now that you're committed to do it, you have to do it anyway, but record the video anyway, regardless if the light is great or not. It's you'll eventually improve the thing, but if you're waiting to
one of the things I'm thinking about is paying some photographer or some videographer to come over and help me set up, because I have some lights. I want to set it up so that anytime during nighttime I can turn it on, do my recordings. Daytime, my home is pretty freaking violent in terms of the light changes that happen.
Yeah.
Because I have these freaking giant walls that are made of glass and they're overlooking downtown. So every moment, light is changing.
Yeah, but you know, the thing is, like, half of the videos I record, I mean, now I've got it more set up, but a large portion of the videos I record, I just record with my iPhone, like walking down the street or just in some room. You know, just like when I'm traveling, I'm definitely just taking the iPhone out. I don't care about the lighting. I don't even think about the lighting. I'm just like, heck, sometimes I'm like, I'm halfway in the dark, right? So, but it doesn't matter because the content is what matters. I mean, I'm not saying don't pay any attention to it at all, especially if you're in a fixed environment. But
here's the way I look at it. I agree with you. But if I get a good environment working, it will be so much faster to churn the videos out. I know that because a lot of the times, even though I have a video idea, I'll be like, all right, I'll have to wait till this time that day to record the video, and then it won't be as much. So I'm like, if I just turn it on and I have the freaking studio, boom, life is so much better because then I can just go in, record, get out. And it's like environment is such a big part of trying to get stuff done. If I can get it, that would be beautiful. If I can't, yeah, I continue to do what I do.
But if you stop caring,
but
right?
It doesn't stop caring, right? There's a big difference. You will see this. I have seen this, like just from the quality of the video, there'll be comments, oh man, great audio. Oh man, great lighting. At least I can see you this time. Like people will say shit like this on the YouTube feed. That means they're happy to see a higher quality video being produced rather than just a random fucking video.
Yeah, but don't look at that. Don't look at that. Look at what they actually do. Look at the action, right? And that's what you need to decide on, because people will say stuff, and yeah, I think audio is definitely more important for sure. But even like, don't let that stop you. Still, it'd be better to have to say that when I want to record a video, I record a video, and it doesn't mean that you can't improve your environment. But if you have that mindset from the start, that's going to get you further in growing your channel than having a perfect environment will.
Okay, fair.
Because even when you're traveling, right, you're going to have to be able to whip out the phone camera, and do that. Otherwise, you're not recording videos, right? Like you're not going to have a perfect environment there. So,
yeah, but the consistency is way more important.
What's that?
The consistency is way more important because then people get in the habit of coming back.
Yeah,
I think
those girls taught me a lesson yesterday.
I think there's a lesson here though, which is reducing friction on all fronts, right? So what you're talking about is reducing friction in terms of just being able to walk up and push a button and record something. John's actually talking about reducing friction by not caring, and I think they're both probably helpful. If your main goal is consistency, then taking both approaches, like start recording the videos now. Right. And then book out a week or whatever on your calendar when you've got time, and spend it getting that environment set up. But don't wait to do that before you start recording.
Yeah,
sold. I'll take that. I'll take that one.
I have a friend that does a podcast. I think you can go get it at mybusinessonpurpose.com. I'm actually paying him for some coaching right now, but he does his podcast in the car, and so he just fires the Boss Jock Studio. He records it on his Apple earbuds, and you can hear the car noise and stuff, but people listen to it for the content. And super consistent, and that's how he builds an audience. So yeah, I completely agree. I'm not saying that you need to lower your standards, but also think about, if I'm being consistent, people are going to listen, and then I can improve the rest of this stuff later, and then they'll just be happier to refer people to it.
Fair. Yeah, consistency. I feel consistency is a matter of commitments, but getting high quality videos is a matter of just reducing the friction in the environment and creating a nice environment to do that. But yeah, the commitment comes first in the consistency game. All of this shit will happen just because it has to happen, right? Once I have committed, worst case, I will wake up at 1 a.m. and do the damn videos just so I can produce, get it out on Wednesday morning. But ideally, it would be much better if both of these were working. Like if I had an environment where I could just go press play and do the damn thing. Environment is a big deal. We can't underestimate the importance of getting the right environment to do these things, because it makes life much more simpler. And I can dedicate my mental resources to something else if my environment for that is perfect.
Yep.
I have to send you, if I can find it though. I actually have videos that I recorded while I was running. Like literally while I was running.
You have one of those channel trailers, right? with that.
No. I'm talking about like a 10-minute video, me talking while I'm running.
John singing along. Pa, 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 pa.
I can't find it.
That doesn't count as talking.
But like, so for example, what this guy Neil Patel and what's his name, Eric Sue do? You know what they do? They publish a podcast every day. It's just 5 minutes. It's every day.
Yep.
All they do is they get in the studio once a month. They record the 30 episodes.
Yeah.
For the rest of the month. Pretty badass, right? So having something like that is awesome. Having an environment set up where I can just go in, record videos for 2 days, done for 2 weeks. Beautiful.
Yeah. The other thing, though, just to keep in mind is that a lot of people, they kind of like the authentic setup, for lack of a better word. So seeing you standing in your office, with stains on the wall, or whatever, your shirt is not tucked in or whatever, so it's
little
just
blood.
You're at doing your thing. Yeah. A lot of people go for that too, and that makes them identify with you more. So, I mean, having it polished, it really depends on the audience you're trying to reach. And so if you're trying to reach those people who are, they want to be a part of you and what you're doing, versus having a really polished brand, and I think they're trade-off.
In some ways, I'm trying to avoid becoming a personal brand. That's something that John and I talk about all the time. But I'd much rather not be. I mean, whatever it takes to get this business growing, it's cool. But at some point, I want to be divested from me. It's not about me. It's just 2,000 books or 10x books or whatever it is.
A tweetable from Chuck for this episode. YouTube is all about rocking out with your cock out.
I feel that's a paraphrase.
Yeah. Well, a little bit. I think a little bit of
some of the people
creative
who know me are going to be like, did he actually say that?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's one of the 23 strategies of war.
Yes. The whatchamacallit, the Scottish employed that against the English, right? With the
there's this YouTube prank video.
I saw that movie.
He goes and gets really like in face of people and starts almost to fight. And as soon as they want to start fighting, he takes his pants off, and the guys just run.
Wow.
Yeah, there we go.
Strategy. It's a strategy for war.
What is this show? Read it again.
I will have to look it up. Shit, it's so funny, man.
I think he means this show. Like, what are we rating?
Show,
this
yeah,
one?
the one
I don't know. It's not for the ears of sensitive viewers. That's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I could have told you that. Anyway, I'm curious to see your videos, Manny. I think it'll be interesting to see what you're putting out. But yeah, just be consistent.
By the way, have you seen my channel yet?
No. What's your channel? 2,000 books?
Yeah. Check it out, man. Let me know what you
Don't
think.
spend a ton of time on YouTube.
No, I have the podcast too. Kind of has the same stuff.
Cool.
A lot of author interviews, a lot of interviews with New York Times bestsellers on there. So I think you'll like it.
Nice.
One of my highlights from last week at Social Media Marketing World was running into this guy at Andrew Warner's. So you guys know Andrew Warner, right? Mixergy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he invited me to his Scotch night. So it was in his suite, and I was there. John was there too, and I was talking to this guy, and he's like, "Yeah, I have this real estate network of podcasts, blah blah." I'm like, "Which one?" And he's like, "It's called Jason Hartman. Like, Jason Hartman has a whole lot of real estate podcasts." And I'm like, "I listen to you, man. I've listened to you for like 5 years. I love your shows. They're awesome. Learned so much from you." And then he's like, "What do you do?" "Oh, I have this podcast and I do book summaries." Like, what's the name of your podcast? 2,000 books. He's like, "No way. I love it."
Nice.
He why do you like it? Tell me. Like, well, what about it? What would you enjoy? He's like, oh man, let me look it up. And he opens his phone. He goes to his podcast app, and the podcast he's playing is the episode. Like it's 2,000 books.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, this guy is in like Inc 1000 right now, and he's listening to my show. Yay!
Woo.
You're internet famous.
Yes. And
Nice.
I also got offered to speak at Podfest, so that'll be next year.
Nice. I wanted to go this year, but I couldn't make it happen.
Yeah, it's coming up. I think it's in Orlando in March next year.
Cool. Well, I'm going to jump in and talk about some of the stuff that I've got going. I mentioned the podcasts. The Vue podcast and the React podcast both released episode 1 this week.
Nice.
And of course, me being the brilliant guy that I am, I changed up my site layout the day before they went live. So people were like, I can't subscribe and I can't play the episode from your website. So I had to fix that. Because when I switched the layout, the old layout I had customized to put the player in on every episode.
Okay.
And this layout didn't have that. So I think instead of messing with the layout, though, I think I'm just going to insert the player into each episode. And so I'm trying to figure out the best way to do that. But yeah, it's
player in each
episode.
episode.
What was
Well,
that?
Libsyn does that. What's the challenge with inserting player in each episode? Are you using Libsyn or
No. So it's just the website hosting. I just have my own WordPress set up, and
what do you use for your podcast hosting?
Cashfly.
And they don't give you an option to like embed one show into the website?
So I got the the Smart Podcast Player, which is Pat Flynn's.
Yeah.
But you have to put the short code into each episode. It's not part of the layout.
Yep. That's right.
So that's kind of the rub there. But anyway, I've been tweaking this as I go. But things are going really, they're coming together really well as far as I like the way it looks. If you go to the main page, I mean, there are things I want to add to this, as I get courses and things together. I'm also thinking about just pulling in WooCommerce, kind of like what Josh has done. And I need to talk to your t-shirt guy. He emailed me, and then I had too many things going on. I haven't emailed him back. But just put up a store where it's like, okay, here's where you can get podcast swag. Here's where you can buy the courses. And yeah, just set all that stuff up so people can get what they want. And then on the front page, under our podcast, it'd be like recent episodes and stuff like that, which I may actually have to modify the theme for, because what I'm finding is like Smart Podcast Player and this theme, for example, they don't handle custom post types very well. And so when I do a query, I can tell it to pull up a custom post type, but I can't tell it to pull up, like, for example, if I tagged a whole bunch of shows with the same tag, those taxonomies are all separated by custom post type in WordPress. And so I'd have to do multiple queries and then stitch them together. And so it doesn't play out very well, but
the new
anyway.
homepage looks good. I like it.
Yeah. So what I may do instead, I've also thought about so just adding another grid and just having, the 5 up, because I have it 5 across for the podcasts. Just do the 5 most recent episodes for each show. And then just,
Oh, yeah.
in.
Yep.
So then people can scroll down and it's like, okay, what's the latest from Ruby Rogues and JavaScript Jabber and all those shows.
Yeah, I like that idea. I think that'll be good. Then you're gonna also cross-pollinate the shows that way better.
Yeah.
True. Yep.
Yep. And then just working some of the other stuff, because I have the about page that I need to update in the events page. But yeah, then if I can get the store on here, then I can start really pushing some of the stuff that I have going. The other thing that I like about this layout is that at the top where the logo is, right of that, there's a whole bunch of open space. There's actually an ad space there that comes into the theme. And so since I have React Roundup coming up, or React Dev Summit coming up at the end of the month, I'm thinking about just sticking that in there and then just scheduling an update so that after React Dev Summit, then I can put one in for JavaScript Dev Summit. And so I can have the summits up there or whatever course I'm pushing or whatever, and see if I can get people over to those. So yeah, it's just a matter of getting all that stuff together. But one thing at a time. The old layout was just a little bit hard to follow, and you had to scroll down to get to stuff, and now you don't have to do that anymore. So
sweet. I don't know if I feel like you've updated this logo since I last saw it, but I really like it.
I did update it. It's a new logo.
Yeah, I think
I've had it for a few months. Yeah, the only problem I have now is like if you look at the Ruby Rogue logo, it has the old devchat.tv logo on it. And so I within the next few months, I'm going to be telling people, or I'm going to be paying to have that fixed.
Okay.
So it has the current logo on it, but
nice.
It's not a critical thing right now. Right now, I'm just trying to get the whole pipeline together. But the other thing is it's clean, it's easy to follow, and I feel like now I can move ahead with a lot of the marketing stuff, and just work that in so that like under sponsors, and then maybe under sponsors I'd put like related courses or something like that. Just make sure that people can subscribe and that's all easy to do. So anyway, that's a lot of what I'm working on now. But
nice.
Yeah. So yes, that's the one thing I did, and then I got those 2 posts updated. I've got most of the content re-recorded, but I got this cold and I didn't want to. So now what you do with your cover letter is I can't talk because I have a cold, so I held off re-recording the rest of that stuff. So probably get it together today and Monday and have that all done. But I've got a couple people working through the new content and they're loving it. So I can put that in like on the main page of our podcast. I'm hoping to put in like our courses and so then I can put that one in there. And I've gotten a lot of requests or I've been talking to a lot of people and been getting a lot of feedback on doing courses on automating your coding process. So that's, having your test runner run while you're writing the code, and then having like continuous integration and continuous deployment and static analysis and all of those tools. And most languages have those tools. So it's just a matter of hooking them in.
Right.
And so I'm probably going to do a course on that and just say, look, these are the things that you can automate, and these are the kinds of tools you can get to do them, and then put out like smaller spins on the course. So it's automating Angular and automating React and automating JavaScript and automating Ruby, because I have those audiences and they'll pay to know how to just set all that stuff up.
Yeah.
Nice. I want to have my dev environment set up so that every time I hit a keystroke, it deploys to production. Can we do that?
You probably can.
That would be pretty awesome.
I don't know how smart that is, but you probably can. So,
but yeah,
anyway,
that's actually like that kind of tool stuff that people eat up. I think.
Well, it's and the way that I'm selling it. So I'm actually doing a talk at the beginning of April. I'm going out to Denver. I'm speaking at an Angular meetup group, and I basically, it's like, are you tired of being the expert on everything? You're tired of managing your operations. You wish your, dev environment, production environments would just get set up on their own. Do you wish you were getting feedback on your code on a regular basis? All of that stuff can be automated. Do you wish you knew when your tests failed? Do you wish you were confident when you deployed that you weren't going to spend the next 2 days rolling it back and fixing it? I mean, all of that stuff, you can solve with a lot of this. So that's what I'm aiming at. I may do another podcast just on like productivity for programmers.
Oh, I think that would be big.
Yeah, Josh, we should do it again.
Oh, yeah.
You have a set of productivity books?
Yeah, we did. That was our first offer that we did in like October, I think it was last year.
No.
So was it
December?
I get asked about that a ton. I'm sure I could sell a ton of those.
Yeah, we did what? We did like 17K.
Yeah.
And it was like
no upsells.
yeah, it was ridiculous. Like $6 EPC, no upsell, no bumps. I think if we do upsell, bump, and if we like really do it well this time, we could go over $10 EPC. Easily, given what we know what we know now.
Earnings per click. It's just a
Gotcha.
useful metric.
Yeah, it might be time to do it again and then do an upsell.
Yeah, well, we should talk too, Manny, because I'm betting that I can sell some of your stuff, and it's what people want. It's funny because it's like I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, the money would be nice, but it's what people want.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually real stuff that, I mean, programmers especially, and any smart kind of group of people will usually gravitate towards productivity for some reason, right?
Yep.
Yeah, well, let me know. Chat about it and figure out a deal.
Yeah, definitely.
We can just borrow John's emails and just plug them in, and they'll still.
Sounds good to me.
I'd be up for that if we could work out some kind of royalty agreement.
Oh, never mind.
I'll license the emails to you.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't have them. You would never know.
That's true.
He might be subscribed to my list.
We'd find out. I'm sure we'd find out.
We'll unsubscribe every time John subscribes to your list.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Get my IP address and just set up a unsubscribe rule.
Grant Cardone is still sending me emails after I spam blocked him 3 different times. Unfucking believable, man.
Who?
Grant Cardone.
Oh. He's a machine. He cannot be stopped.
He cannot be stopped.
I think I've opted out of all of them. Like there was like someone else on his team sending emails too, like a different list.
Yeah.
So it's kind of.
I definitely did not subscribe to that many lists for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, Josh, seriously, what do you think? Should we do it sometime?
Yeah, I want to do it sometime soon. So I'm debating right now. I met with a guy. He reached out to us. I'm trying to figure basically to the not bearing the lead version of this is I'm trying to figure out. I want to do one more affiliate offer this quarter, so like this month. But I'm thinking I might want to do it on this. We had this guy. How do you say, John? It's Kazi, right? Yeah, Kazi from the Clever Programmer.
Oh yeah,
and,
yeah.
I met with him yesterday, and he's got a kind of like his program is kind of like a little bit of a mini boot camp where you learn Python. He teaches you. It's pretty interesting the way he has it set up, John, because he's teaching he's teaching you Python, teaching you to do like full stack development with Python, but he starts with like all web-based tools. So there's like literally nothing to install, nothing. Like he just gets you right in there right away, and you're like playing with the code immediately. You don't have to set up Python. Like a lot of Python, like learn to do Python courses or tutorials. The first thing you'll do is like you're installing Python, you're setting up the Python environment management, and you're having to learn about like how to switch, how to have a clean Python environment and all that stuff. And it's just like, what's that?
Does that, right? Code Academy does that?
Possibly. Yeah. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at their stuff, but, yeah. So you just he gets you right in right away, and then you're building stuff, and he's along the way you're building like a GitHub portfolio, and then he gradually introduces more and more of the tool chain. And by the end, you're doing like, you've got Python installed, you're using Anaconda to manage your local development environment. You're familiar with Git. You've got stuff up on GitHub. You've got this little portfolio website that you've built. So it's pretty cool. And then he teaches at the end how to basically start a coaching business where you're able to help other people who are just getting started with Python, and kind of walks you through how to get that set up. So it's interesting because you can get it kind of fits pretty well with some of the 10 steps principles, like the learn the kind of the minimal path to competence, and then teaching to deepen your knowledge at the end. So I'm kind of thinking I'm still trying to decide, but I'm kind of thinking I want to do try to do like a little mini launch with him this month. And his product it's $497, and we'd offer it for $390. When we did the Thinkful launch, we had so many people that wanted to do something like this, but Thinkful was just too much of a commitment. Like, 6 months is a huge. Actually, John, I met with them, and one thing that was interesting was that we were pitching the full-time, like, quit your job, but you don't have to pay anything till after you graduate and they find you a job. Like, that was the offer that we were pitching. Nobody signed up for that. Everybody signed up for their flexible part-time option, which was you have to pay more up front.
Right.
And you have to pay for it as you go. So like the financing was not the biggest obstacle. It was really the commitment to it. Yeah. So that was pretty interesting, but
yeah, his stuff should be pretty synergistic. Like there's a reason why it sounds familiar to the 10 steps way.
Yeah.
Because he was basically a student of my stuff, and then built his thing from that. So that's good. Yeah, that would probably be a good idea. I wonder though if the pricing, like if $100 discount is enough. I almost think it should be even $100 more discount.
Like a $297.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure. Like the price breakpoints are like there's a pretty big gap between $99 and $499. Like there's not a lot of. I haven't seen any. I've tested in between that with our products and not seen any. Like it's a very small. Like when we put. I tried How to Market Yourself at several different price points in there, and it came out the same. Like the revenue always ended up. Yeah. It was like that was one where the conversion rate just slid up and down almost perfectly in line with.
So he was the same.
What's that? Yeah. So conversion rate drops, but your revenue goes up, so you end up with the same revenue at the end. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just thinking I'm just going to try it and see, and we can always adjust midstream too. So
true, exactly. Yeah, that's true. That was one thing we learned from the last one with Manny was you can adjust midstream. There's no reason why not. So
yeah, but this one, like I'm looking at the numbers, I'm like, yeah, I should probably, because I think we could do. I like to give these nice big broad ranges, but I honestly think we could do anywhere from 25K to 100K or more. I think there's a pretty decent shot that we could do 100K or 150K total revenue on this one. So just because it is a higher price point, and I think he's got an upsell in there too. So I'll negotiate, make sure I get half of that upsell. Also.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But
I mean, you should the whole funnel.
What's that?
You get half of the whole funnel bump up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm leaning towards doing that right now, but we'll see. I've been pretty heads down with this SEO stuff, and feel like I'm starting to make a little headway on it. So I've been basically just using. We published that automation testing guide by Joe. John, how do you say Joe's last name? Is it
Coliantano?
Coliantano? Yeah, I think that's it. So I went through that. I did like all the on-page SEO, and it actually looked pretty solid to begin with. So we're in pretty good shape there. And then I've started doing. So what I've done so far is I built some internal backlinks to it. So on the site we have several posts that rank high for automation testing or test automation type of topics. So I linked to the page, which Brian Dean says he calls it authority sculpting, which is just a cool term. But basically, you can if you already got some authority on a topic, you can kind of direct some of that at your new post to give it a boost. So we're trying. I built I think I put 3 internal backlinks to the post. And now I'm starting to do like outreach to try to build some backlinks to it. And man, it is freaking time consuming. So I'm trying to, what I'm doing is I'm like, basically, I'm looking at this as like my cold calling. I've never had a job where I had to do cold calling, right? So this is like my cold calling baptism by fire. So I'm like, okay, do I have the stomach to actually to survive in this type of thing? But I'm trying to figure out a system here and how to categorize these so that I can make it systematic and hand it off. Right now, I have no freaking clue, and there's no way I can outsource this effectively right now. So I'm thinking about this in terms of concentric circles. So there's like the first circle in the center would be like everybody that we link to in the post, I need to reach out to. Right. So I reached out to Perfecto, who's actually they're a sponsor of ours, and I just did that this morning. So I haven't heard back yet. But so anybody we link to in the post is kind of like the first circle. Then I can go like if I've got a guest author like Joe, who's an authority, I can go, okay, Joe, who are all the people that have linked to Joe's site that are familiar with Joe? So then I can pull a list of those people up in Ahrefs, and then manually go through, look at, okay, what did they link to him? How did they link to him on their site? And then I go through their site, find their contact information, and find a good reason to reach out to them, like some kind of connection point. And I'm finding it's taking me about 15 minutes per email to do this, which is, kind of painstaking. But so far, I'm getting like a 50. I'm already getting like a 50% reply rate on these emails. So So what I'm basically doing is I'm trying to do a two-step where I'm saying, hey, I just, I was looking at this, whatever it is that they published. Like this one guy, Dana, he interviewed Perfecto, which is a sponsor of ours. So I reached out to him and told him that I said, I used to be an iOS developer. I would have killed for a tool like Perfecto when I was doing that. And then I said, hey, by the way, I just published this resource guide by Joe Coliantano, who I know you're familiar with. Would you like me to send it to you? Could I get your feedback on it? And then he just replied to me today. He's like, yeah, sure. Sounds great. Send it over. So I'm at least I'm not just spamming them with the link.
Right.
So I'm getting them to reply. Hopefully they'll be a little more invested in the process and actually take a look at it. So I think that'll be it's a little bit more, it's a lot more time consuming, but it's worth it to put in 15 minutes to get 1 out of 2 people to reply to me versus collecting, 100 sites and spamming them and getting like a 0.5% response rate.
Yeah, especially because this is like, this is super high value work, right?
It's high value work and it's a finite universe. I mean, I think like the number one post for automation testing, which is the keyword I'm going after, has 80 backlinks. Yeah. To that post. And it's terrible. It's a terrible post. Yeah. So if I can get anywhere near that, I think if I can get 20 or 30, I think I could own that keyword. Yeah. So it's definitely pretty painstaking at this point, but I'm starting to see some patterns like, okay, so there's different excuses I can use to reach out. Like one of them is a common one is like, I found a broken link. And there's a tool you can get where you go to their site, you go to a page with a lot of links, you click a button and it'll say, and there's almost always a broken link. So you just say, hey, I found this broken link. And then they reply and they say, what is it? Because you don't tell them. Right. And then I send them the broken link and then I mention the guide, when I do that. So basically I'm just trying to get a dialogue going. So there's different tactics that you can use to try to at least get the response and everything. So another one that I tried was I found, and John, flag me off if you don't like this, but I think this could actually be brilliant. I found there's one site that had a link where they quoted you, but they linked to your DZone article.
Oh, okay.
So I emailed them and I said, no, actually I used their chat. They have like the chat, the real-time chat. they're gonna ban me from like that all those tools. I like to use chat for inappropriate purposes. But I basically said, I was like, hey, this is Simple Programmer, and you're quoting us, and you're attributing it to dzone, and that's not correct. Like, this was originally published on our site. Can you fix the attribution? So, and they did.
Oh, cool.
So
Okay,
they went in and they fixed it, and they also linked to our actual Twitter account instead of the dzone Twitter account. So,
so
I'm
I know
thinking,
where you're going. You're going to AHRF the dzone articles. And,
yes.
yes. Perfect.
Yes, I can. I'm calling it link harvesting. I think I can go in and like this is something I could outsource. I can hire someone to just go through, and there's probably hundreds of links. I mean, I could probably increase our backlink profile by 10 or 20% just by hiring someone to go through, find all the websites, get their contact information, and then plug it into a tool like Contactually, where I can just work through and send the emails out. And it's a nice one because it's easy to make it a template.
Have you considered this tool called Bonjour?
I have not. Is that like a cold email tool, or?
Better than that, cold video email tool.
Oh.
Oh, interesting. That's good.
That sounds
Not
great.
cold, but it's like if you have their email address, you can literally record a video for them. So instead of sending an email, you record a video.
Interesting.
That's 10 times more personal.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey guys, whatever. So I've been using this lately with my customers, and they're like so happy. They're like, "Wow, man, I've never seen anyone like respond to me on video." But they don't realize it takes me less time to do this than
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Does it is it plug into like Gmail? Is that how that works? Like it's a Chrome's
connected to
plugin?
your email account, your @SimpleProgrammer account, and I've also connected it to my ConvertKit. So every time I get a new customer, I can basically, or every time I get a new subscriber, whichever way I want to do it.
That's
Nice.
pretty cool.
Bonjoro, Bonjoro. If you guys sign up, please use my affiliate link, okay?
Well, you got to post it.
This looks so great.
Put your affiliate link in there.
I will put my affiliate link in there. Let me find it.
There's I'm trying to think. I thought there was.
Oh, nice.
Hang on, don't go there yet. Oof. Depends on where their cookies are, how they're assigning their cookies.
I think it won't be like. It'll be fine if we go back there with the affiliate link. It's just if
Yeah.
Okay, so here's something interesting that I noticed. Well, let me see if this works before I say it. Okay. Yep, it does. So you can't do it in. Well, let me see. So they snuck this into the Gmail app on your phone. Is video.
Really?
Yeah. So if you go into Gmail on your phone and you go to attachments, right, and you add attachment, you can go to camera and then you go to video and you can record video. I don't know why you can't do that in the web version, but anyway.
I'm looking for that too. For me, that's way convenient. It's much more convenient for me to just open it up and kind of stream a thought for 2 seconds. Then
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I've been using the screen recorder to do that, like to answer a lot of stuff. But actually, so the Gmail version is no good because it records a .mov file, so that's actually not good. So this Bonjour looks good.
Because you record on your phone, and it's almost no hassle.
Yeah.
Computer and going through all the madness. Record on your phone and click send and done.
Where's the link? Did you put the link in there?
No, these guys. Let me.
I don't see the video thing on my iPhone.
Literally.
Oh, John, I wonder if that's just because you're on the iPhone X.
Oh, it could be.
Yep, that's the only reason.
Cool. But yeah, so I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to do definitely. So that the advantage of that strategy is it's pretty easy to outsource. But I think what I'm going to try to do is outsource some of the research. So if I can outsource it to where somebody else can go into Ahref and look through, because like some of the sites, like it's obviously you have to look at every freaking site because you can't just pull a list. The half the sites, like some of them you'll go to them and they clearly like never backlink to anything other than their own stuff. So it's that would be a waste of time. Some of the, like one of the sites, like the guy, I knew this was going to happen based on looking at his site. He emailed me back. He's like, "I'm so glad to hear from you. Will you pay me $200 to put a link on my?" And I was like, I don't know. I might try that at some point.
Yeah, well, I mean, give them $50, sure. And like, and if people say no, you could say, well, you know, I know it's not worth your time. Would it be worth your time if I give you $100 or something like that?
Yeah.
If it's a high enough domain ranking site, like.
Yeah, my concern is like I think I was thinking about it, and I think I might try that at some point. But the main concern is that somebody like that gets on Google's bad side at some point, and then they take you down with them. Like you could inherit some of the, you know, because I mean they do. If somebody like that is, if they're pretty aggressive about soliciting paid links, then my concern is that I end up tainting myself in the future.
Yeah, I mean you can disavow links using the tool, but
yeah,
if you need to, but yeah, I mean that's a good point though.
I think I might try it at some point, but I'd like to figure out how to do a controlled experiment with it and. Maybe only promote a certain post with that technique or something. But yeah, so I need to. One thing I realized this week too is I've been kind of like, you know, eagerly checking the Ahref stats on this post every day and like the traffic and everything. I'm like I was getting kind of discouraged and I was like, okay, breathe. So I Googled like how long does it take to rank a post in Google, and there was a really good post by Ahrefs. And they were basically saying they analyzed, you know, a few 100,000 posts and found that minimum of like 90 to 120 days to really move the needle on a keyword that has any kind of volume on it.
Okay.
So I need to be like checking maybe weekly. This is like a major trust the process moment. Like I know that if I can build, you know, if I can build a couple backlinks to this post a week for the next 6 months, then I know it's going to be at the top of Google.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for
sure. So I just need to get a system in place and keep banging away at it. But yeah, this is a good keyword too because it gets about 4,500 searches a month in the U.S. and then there's like there's a ton of secondary keywords. Like basically anymore, there's no such thing as long tail keywords anymore. Like Google has gotten really smart about interpreting the intent of queries. So you can't really optimize for long tail keywords anymore. Mm-hmm. So your best bet is to go for like kind of a middle of the road keyword, and you're going to pick up like dozens and hundreds of other keywords if you do that. So yeah, this is a good case study. And I think if I do a couple posts like this myself, then I will have a pretty good handle on everything that, you know, like the different categories of outreach that we can do. And hopefully I can come up with a way to systematize it a little bit and make it, because the problem is like everybody outsources this right now, but everybody does it really poorly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's the spammy, you know, you get a million of those emails and they don't work. Like they get you know, like the response rates on those emails is fractions of a %. So yeah, so I've got to figure out a way to do it without being spammy, but then still make it so that we can systematize it and get a team of people doing it.
I hate getting those emails. Those spam
I know. Yeah, I know. They
get them a lot.
So I do too. I get like probably 10 a week to my own email and like probably 20 or 30 a week to John's email.
That's why the video would actually help, I think, too. And like the other thing is like, this is kind of the strategy I would employ if I were doing this, like with the video, is I'd be like, look, like we're trying to rank the page higher. Like this is, you know, I know like it's probably not a big deal for you to just like add this link. I mean, you know, if you could help us out, it's a lot of work. I'm doing this work. I'm trying to do it the right way. That's why I'm actually taking the time to make a personal video, right? I'm not a spammy person, like, and just like lay out their concerns in front and just be super honest. And then I think you'll have a pretty high success rate, because then they're gonna be like, oh, this is a human being. Yes, I'll do something for a human being.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sent you guys a link. Do it, please.
Cool. Well, that's what I've been working on. Oh, I got the EntreProgrammer stuff all moved over. So now we have the EntreProgrammer stuff running in its own. If you guys haven't played with Chuck, are you on DigitalOcean?
Yeah.
Have you played with Teams yet?
No.
It is amazing. Like they finally fixed it. So I have a server that I run for a former client of mine. I created a new team just for him and added him as a member, and you can give him billing access so he can sign in, enter his credit card. So I don't have to like invoice him anymore for hosting, which is wonderful.
Nice.
I got EntreProgrammers set up as its own team, and then Simple Programmers its own team, and then my stuff is its own team, and then I made myself a member of all the different teams, so I don't have to like worry about which account I'm in. I just go in, I can do everything I need to do, just switch team context, and it's like it was kind of confusing at first, but it is really nice now the way they've got it set up. So I would highly, highly recommend it.
Yeah, I need to do that because I've got, of course, my dad just shut down his dental practice, so I need to actually take down that DigitalOcean setup.
That'll save you $5 a month.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, being able to separate the billing out is really nice. So I actually set it up for EntreProgrammers. Since we have the PayPal account, I just pulled in like $60 worth of credit from the PayPal account onto that, so it won't be dinging the Simple Programmer credit card all the time. So is very nice.
I'll have to check it out because it'd be nice to put like the dev chat stuff in one bucket and then some of the other stuff like PodWrench and stuff on another bucket.
Yep.
Because eventually I'm going to separate the bank accounts and stuff, and so they'll be paying each for their own thing. So.
Hey, Josh, did you get my the self-confidence thing? Are you planning to do that?
Yes, I have that email started in my inbox, and I have not replied to it yet. So yeah, I'll switch that out. We've got. I'm probably going to do an email about it too. So. Just to see what kind of. Oh, so one thing I thought I'd mention too, Manny, is I was looking at. This is where you have to watch the EPC as a metric. So I was looking at. I was freaking out yesterday because we got our income statement for the month, and our product sales were down by 30%. I was like, what is going on? So I like dug into it some more, and it ended up being a combination of things, but one factor was that it was February and there were only 28 days in the month. So that's a 10% reduction, like automatically right off the top. And then the other big factor was we stopped promoting the 5 Learning Mistakes course on YouTube and started promoting the book as the lead magnet, which has like tripled our opt-ins from YouTube, but we're not getting that immediate revenue. So those were like the 2 biggest factors. But I took a couple of our products that don't really sell very well. So I took out of the products menu, I took out like the JavaScript course for one, I think. And so I was looking at the numbers, and our earnings, our conversion rate went through the roof, and our EPC went through the roof, but our revenue was the same. And it was because we were getting all those clicks that weren't converting from the product menu. So like we were getting all that drive-by traffic. So EPC is only useful when when the traffic sources is completely consistent. Like if the traffic mix is changing, then it's going to lie to you. So
revenue is the greatest metric, but still like EPC for that will tell you a lot. I agree with you.
Yeah, it's useful like within a traffic source and within the funnel as you're tweaking the funnel to see, but yeah, like this was I was really confused for a while because I was like, holy cow, like our traffic to
my first
funnel.
And here I am. I'm getting a bad news.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's exactly. I was telling Lisa, I was like, John doesn't really care so much what I do as long as the income's not going down. Right? So I was freaking out. I was like, okay, I need to figure this out before John emails me and it's like, what's going on?
Where's my money?
It's on fire. Like I just took a gas can and it's all on fire, John. Don't worry about it. But yeah. So
it's funny. It's like we're running so profitable though that it's ridiculous because we're pulling 8K, and then even on a bad month, there's still like almost like 16K left over. Right. So it's like we could still pull another 8K. I mean, we could be paying ourselves $16,000 a month and be right. So that's so I'm not concerned. But
basically right now I'm just like trying to. I'm looking at, because we're gonna do like we do quarterly bonuses. Basically, we would pull out some of the profit, and so I'm trying to like, all right, well, can we get one more affiliate promotion in here to kind of push things up? Because I've been so heads down on this SEO stuff that I haven't really done anything at all with products or anything. So I was feeling like the whole business was on fire. But it's all good.
Ratcheted down your emails now, right?
What's that?
The email frequency?
Yeah, I ratcheted it down this week. I basically just sent out one. I sent out two because we do the weekly on Friday, and then I did one on Tuesday. So I think I'm just going to do I'll do 1 or 2 per week normally. And then when I do a promotion, I'll do the usual blitz of like 5 or 6 or 8 or whatever, because that works very well.
You were saying that if you're ratcheting down your emails that much, you would be able to do more frequent affiliate promotions because now you have room to do those because you're not.
Well, I mean, not really, because what I've seen with the list is that you can only do so many promotions within a certain amount of time. It's not a matter of the emails; it's a matter of just wearing out people, and then the scarcity is what really gets people to buy. But if there's always, like Grant Cardone was doing this, everything was always on sale, freaking all the time, and it's like, who cares? Like, it's
that's
too much.
That's his product. When he sells,
yeah, that's true. But I think that just like
model.
What's that?
That's AppSumo model. What we're talking about when.
But they only do like a few offers per. I mean, I haven't been on their list for a while, but they were only doing like one offer a month when I unsubscribed. Like, it was not that many. So I kind of want to be in the like 1 to 2 per month range, especially because people are going to be coming into the funnel and getting offers anyway.
Our regular offers, exactly.
Yeah, they get all of our regular offers, and so I've definitely noticed diminishing returns when you do back to back to back. Like, you end up with like just sort of less overall.
Is that what you're looking at, or twice a month?
Yeah, like once or twice a month is probably what I'm going to shoot for.
Yeah,
but it's that I didn't do anything. Well, no, I did. We did our thing last month, and I did the Thankful promotion, which was a bust. But yeah.
What are you guys' metrics for a bust promotion, a good promotion, an excellent promotion?
A bust promotion is when I write 5 emails and we make $3,500.
Yeah, like revenue-wise, what are the metrics? Like, where are you guys at with those?
So like, it kind of depends. I mean, with the interview cake thing, we did about 450 sales, and I think we ended up making close to 25K off of that.
Yeah.
So that's, to me, that's like, if it's like 15, 20K earnings, like that's I'm satisfied with that. Like, that was pretty successful. With what we did, I'm pretty satisfied with it because because you're constantly coming up with new stuff, and we can continue to tailor it, and you're working hard on the funnels and everything. So those were smaller, but like, I know, like, if we took with the numbers we got on the productivity thing, and then we did what we did with the other one and added all the upsells and everything, that we could kill it, and we would probably be in that 20, 30K range. So
probably be in the 20, 30.
It's more like if all you had was the one thing and we made like 5 or 10K, I probably wouldn't do that one again.
Yeah.
But it's not like it wouldn't be unsuccessful. It just wouldn't be enough because you've only got so many slots. Like, if I'm going to rerun something, I've only got 1 or 2 slots a month, so I want to try to maximize what we're getting. But so yeah, I have a feeling this clever programmer promotion might be the new benchmark. So we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully it'll do well. The interview cake is another one to rerun too.
Yeah, I know. I've had that on my list. I want to rerun that one soon.
All right, shall we?
Yeah, let's wrap.
All right.
So I have a thought. So this week was kind of rough. I mean, so Saturday I was over helping my dad. Well, I wasn't helping my dad. I was helping my brothers and sisters move all of the crap out of my dad's dental office. And, so I've got all the stuff going on still with all of that. Plus, my wife, I think I mentioned on the show, had a sinus infection and double ear infection.
Yeah.
A bunch of my kids were sick. I was just running around like a crazy person trying to get everything done. And when I really think about it, I also realized that, you know what? I had a really productive conversation with Eric about the show notes for the shows. We got the new layout on devcat.tv. We got 2 new shows released, episode 1, got them submitted to iTunes and all that good stuff. And so a lot of times I think we don't give ourselves credit because things are hard. And I just want to encourage people to look at, okay, well, what did I actually accomplish? And, sometimes you're gonna be like, yeah, I feel terrible and I didn't accomplish anything. But a lot of times we don't give ourselves the credit. And we kind of need to do that and just recognize, you know what? This was a crappy week, but at the same time, I got a ton of stuff done.
Nice. Yeah, I think I'll make my thought that it's often amazing how a little extra effort can bring exponentially greater results. This email thing that I'm talking about is a good example. Like the difference between just blasting out, this wouldn't even be worth doing if I were to just scrape a bunch of URLs and blast out the emails. I don't even think it would. I think I could get 5 or 10 backlinks that way, and I'd be done. I'd have burned all those bridges, and I'd be done. And the way that I'm doing now is definitely a lot more painstaking and requires a lot more work, or a decent amount more work. But the results are so much greater that it's not even in the same ballpark as the lazy approach. So yeah, so you got to figure out where it's not every activity is like that, but you need to figure out when that extra effort's really going to pay off.
Yeah. Let me see. I would say for mine, actually, so I was talking about getting fat, and I had sort of that identity crisis where I was like, I'm not the 6-pack abs John anymore, so I'm nothing, right? That was my thing. And I had you go through phases in life and you attach yourself to identities, and I just had this kind of realization, this process. It became more clear to me that what happens is that you get external validation from someone. Someone says, "Oh, good boy. Oh, whatever. You're smart, or you have 6-pack abs, or you're cool. Whatever it is." And you get that. That causes you to attach to an identity, and then that causes you to eventually you can get to a point. And I found myself in this point where I was if you're moving towards something because you want something, it's good. That's a good reason to bust your ass, work hard, go for it. But if you're doing stuff because you're avoiding the pain or the loss, it's bad, because then you're being dragged. It's a difference between riding the horse and being dragged by the fucking horse. Riding the horse is great. That'll get you there. It'll be, but dragged by the horse will kill you eventually. You can hang on being dragged by the horse for some amount of time, but eventually it's going to kill you. And so I was I just started re-examining my life, and I was even with departing from Simple Programmer, I was why the fuck am I still feel like I'm still in this prison? And it was because, well, a lot of the stuff I was doing with the fitness and just just a lot of the way, even when I was listening to audiobooks, I'm wow, some of the stuff I'm doing at this point is to avoid the loss of that identity that I built for myself, that I was so attached to, that I like to have, versus trying to actually achieve a goal or something like that. So I had kind of a big reset this week, and I sort of like, I got rid of, I'm not doing Muay Thai anymore. I'm not going to do that. I cut my running way back. And like I said, I kind of, said, well, if I don't want to do something, and I'm not compelled, like, for the end goal, I'm not going to do it anymore. Like, it's not going to be, I'm going to, it doesn't mean I can't work hard. It doesn't mean I can't bust ass, but it needs to be in the pursuit of a thing as opposed to avoiding a loss. And so, I just think there's a big lesson in there, and just that, eventually you got to look at the reason why you're doing things. Like I said, I guess the best way I could sum it up is look and see, are you sitting on the fucking saddle, or are you being dragged behind the horse? And if you're being dragged behind the horse, stop, give it up. Like, that's not that you maybe you can find a way to get back in the saddle and still do the same thing, doing it for the right reason. But if you're being dragged by the horse, you're not going to be motivated, and it's just going to feel like you're just like being dragged by a horse, right? No other way to put it. So,
yeah, as Tony Robbins likes to say, identity is the most powerful force in human nature. So it can cut both ways, take you to the heights, or it can take the way. So my thoughts, I think, is consistency. So that's what I'll be working on. That's what I will be focusing a lot of my energy on going forward, to become much more consistent with the free content for our marketing purposes. Every Monday and Wednesday, new videos and podcast episodes coming out, guys.
That's right.
Awesome.
All right.
Nice.
All right, guys. See you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Wanna start a business, but you just know